Exodus. My favorite book is. Hi everyone. Just wanted to start off with something different to give you a different look on the video. I hope you're having a great week, and I wanted to touch base on the expectations for Module 4. This is one of my favorite parts of the book of Exodus because now we kind of get a chance to test our theologies. I know everyone doesn't go to the Orlando campus, but one of the cool things about being down in Orlando is just a few miles north from our campus is Reformed Theological Seminary. And I've kind of wanted, I haven't been able to do this yet, I would love to have a class on the book of Exodus with half Asbury students and half Reformed Theological Seminary students just for this module because, as you know, we're going to work in Module 4 on studying how God delivers Israel out of Egypt, and in part we're going to come into one of the more interesting pieces, which is the issue of the hardening of Pharaoh's heart. And I've always thought, since we're Wesleyans, we want Pharaoh to harden his own heart. And if we were up the road at Reformed, they want God to harden Pharaoh's heart. And as you go and do this module, you're going to discover that the phrasing happens three distinct ways in Exodus. We're going to have some places where it says, Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart. We're going to have places where it says, Pharaoh hardened his own heart. And we're going to have a neutral position where it just says Pharaoh's heart was hardened. And so exegetically, how do you work through that? So this week I'm going to have you do some word study on that. And so study the words. You're going to find three different words for hardened. And also don't forget about reflecting on what the meaning of heart is, because that's an important piece too. If you misunderstand what heart means in Hebrew, you misunderstand this phrase as well. And also read it within the course of the book because there's a lot of different themes. So we're going to look specifically this time. We did the Exodus 2:23 to about 7:6 this last week. We're going to pick it up at 7:7. Note a couple things. We're going to go from 7:7 to 11:10 this week. But notice that the hard heart goes a little bit before that. We see the hard heart motif first of all at the end of chapter 4, and also note that it doesn't end until we get into chapter 14, right, where the Israelites cross the Red Sea. So you want to remember those parameters. Specifically, though, we're going to spend most of our time looking at 7:7 to 11:10 and work hard to answer the question, who hardens Pharaoh's heart? And what does it mean? And reflect on it theologically, and don't let your own theological commitments unduly influence you, because remember, when Exodus was written, the author wasn't thinking about being a Wesleyan or being a Calvinist. The author is sharing the good news about how the Lord delivered God's people from the greatest superpower of the time in order to unleash them for God's mission, which was to serve as a kingdom of priests and a holy nation to all the nations. So that's what's going on in Exodus. So have a look at that and have fun. Now, at the same time, continue to work on your grammatical analysis. We're going to do Exodus 9:16 this week, which in part says, it's for this very reason that I allowed you or I caused you to stand, so that my name might be proclaimed in all the earth. This is the word to Pharaoh through Moses, and it's part of the hard heart motif as well. So have a great time with this. Now, during our discussion this week, we're going to go back and look at your work on the two different calls or the recalls or the recommissions of Moses from Exodus 3 and 4, and then in Exodus 6, we had some good conversation. Let's really push it forward now, and let's talk richly and deeply about the theology that comes out of Exodus, because that's going to be fun. I look forward to talking with you in the discussion centers.